So I read an interesting article this weekend from Bounding into Comics, and it was about the 65th episode of Chuck Dixon's show on YouTube, Ask Chuck Dixon. And a viewer asked him what are his theories or thoughts on why Manga is wiping the floor with American comics. Chuck was to the point and brutal, and I couldn't disagree with anything he said. I agree with everything because he's right, and when you're right, you're right. You know, he said that, you know, basically Marvel and DC, that they still own the store here, but they don't really put any care into the development of their product. I mean, that's a paraphrase. I'll link the article below in the description. But, you know, they're not really interested in making something for everybody, whereas Manga, you know, makes something pretty much for everybody. That the art is, or that the genre is varied in style. So there's, you know, something, if you want to read about fishing, there's something, there's books dedicated to fishing. There's books about golf. So not a book, but books. The art style is very attractive. I have to agree with the art style is very attractive. It's very topical. It's interesting. They're passionate about it, the way that I believe Marvel and DC used to be before they got into this rut of just, you know, treating these franchises that they own as placeholders to just push an ideology. I am not going to be one to say that, oh, you can't have anything about politics in there. Is it relevant to the story? Does it make the story better? Does it fit? Fine, put it in there. But you don't have to beat people over the damn head with it. That's not necessary. I'm not interested in that. I mean, I get what they're trying to do. And they've been somewhat to a degree effective with it in many fields of escapist entertainment, in movies and comics and what have you, is that they're trying to push an agenda, and it's ruined it. And they don't seem to care that they're losing business, and that's unfortunate. So it's not really hard for somebody, you know, to come in and outdo them when they're making, you know, things that people love. They're actually making products that their customers want to consume, and it just to me has become very apparent that Marvel and DC don't care about that anymore. Specifically the people who work for them, when they're telling, well, if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book, or it's not made for you. Well, then fine, I won't. I mean, come on. I mean, that's you're committing economic suicide. But I guess go ahead. But to kind of touch on that aspect of it, there's a channel that I follow. Young Ripper 59, Eric July, and we talk about the impact of culture in society, specifically with regard to politics. So I get why these mainstream, I get why they're doing it. I think it's dumb, and if they don't think that they're cutting their, DC and Marvel don't think they're cutting their own throats, they're silly, because they don't realize that the power that we have as consumers. I mean, they think that we don't talk about comics all the time, or whatever it is that we're consuming with other people. We have a cultural impact. We might not have high status, but we have a cultural impact because we're the grunts in the trenches, if you will. We're actually buying and reading these things and discussing them. And I remember, you know, in middle school and high school, you know, where you would have, you know, debates about, you know, who your favorite superhero is, why they were better than, you know, why Superman was better than Hulk, and, you know, whatever you felt like discussing. And that's kind of another important part. Is Chuck also talked about how his kids know kids that read manga. Guys, you're in trouble. DC, Marvel, you're not just losing the kids, you're losing people like me too that have been involved in this for decades. So you're getting squeezed from both ends. So then now what you're left with is people in the middle who buy into these politics that you're pushing, but are they buying your books? Are they supporting you financially in any way? Sorry, but, you know, in my world, retweets and likes on Twitter doesn't cut it, guys. I think it's too late for you. Maybe you could turn the ship around, but you'd have to get seriously motivated. I just don't think you care anymore. That's too bad. I've moved on. The last mainstream book that I bought was actually a couple weeks ago, but it was a rebuy of a book that I bought over a year ago, which was Black Widow, No Restraints Play by Saska Sisters. It was only a limited issue run, five books, and then they gave the series to somebody else. I'm not going to comment on who. I mean, if you're in the know, you know who it is, and you like their work, great. If you don't like it, whatever, too. But yeah, I mean, it's a shame, but you know, what can you do? I mean, we talk also in the Eric's channel about, you know, about what you, how you spend your money. It's not necessarily that you have to dedicate all of your funds to things that aren't mainstream. I mean, if you can find a project within mainstream that you love, by all means buy it. I'm not going to discourage that. You like what you like, but just realize who you're supporting. That's all I will tell you. But I've moved on. I'm pretty much all indie now, and I'm going to start looking at manga because I like to read books. I want to read interesting stuff. I've been interested in anime for a real long time. I still watch anime even at my age. I enjoy it, so it's not a leap for me. But anyways, I'm going to link the article below in the description so you can read it for yourself. I believe it's very insightful. Like I said, this is just kind of a synopsis of that. And please like, subscribe, and comment, and we'll see you in the next video.